If you had the attention of the entire world, what would you say?
Ooh, that's a good question. If I was on the spot and I didn't have time to like think it through, I would just say, love yourself, give yourself grace. You're gonna be okay. Don't give up.
Welcome to Inimitable Black Women. I am your host, Donna, and this is the place where we tell the stories of the storytellers. Sada K is a gifted recording artist and content creator who has made it her mission to inspire and uplift others through her music and personal brand as a mother, wife, creator, and so much more. Sada K openly shares about her journey while finding beautiful harmony between her family life and her creative pursuits. She has become a true inspiration to others, showing that it's possible to pursue your dreams while still prioritizing the people and things you love. Through her uplifting storytelling, transparency through life's challenges, and infectious energy, which I'm so excited to encounter right now, Sada K has become a beautiful source of hope and inspiration for countless people around the world. Welcome, Sada K!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm excited to hear your story. People always say journey, but I don't know. I need a new word for journey because everyone says journey. Path.
I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, you know what I
It's a
mean?
journey. Yeah.
You know what it is.
I
Okay.
don't feel like that can be overused. I think it's totally fine.
I I think you're right. I think I should not care. It's
There you
journey
go.
is what it is. Okay, so
Yep.
first thing, what is your race and ethnicity?
I'm black. My mother's black. My dad's black. My dad's really light skinned. My mom's brown skinned, and somehow I got these eyes, and I don't know where they came from, but um,
Bloodline. Who knows?
yes, yes,
But we black is black is black. That's good to hear. That's all
yes.
good. All
Raised
types of
by a
blacks are
beautiful
welcome.
black woman, and she has
Yes.
made me very strong and sure about who I am, no matter how many times I get asked every day of my life.
Oh my gosh. Is that a daily question for you?
I
Like,
mean, if I'm outside, somebody usually asks me that, but it doesn't bother me. I'm proud of who I am.
yeah. I think that's always interesting. Do you think people, it doesn't bother you, but do you think it's slightly like, okay, y'all, just let me exist?
I
No.
mean, I've never wanted to ask anybody that, so it just kind of it doesn't bother me, but it just like I would never walk up to a stranger and ask, "What are you mixed with?" or
Yeah.
your background, what's your nationality, what's your ethnicity. Like it is funny though, because sometimes people just walk up to me and start talking in different languages, and I'm like, hold up, I
That's
don't
funny.
know. Depending on what part of the country I'm in, I do get that a lot, which is funny to me. So it is what it is. I don't mind, people being curious because I love that my answer is, I'm black and beautiful. The
I
end.
love it. It's funny, my grandpa, he was when he was in like his latter days and he was sick, he was in this like facility, right? And so, he's a black man from Tennessee. That's what he is. And proud of it. And we would go in there though, but the people in there, they thought they were talking Spanish to him. And I was like, no, he's black. My poor papa, he don't know what anybody's saying to him. And he couldn't talk at the time. So my grandma, she said she walked in and someone was talking to him in Spanish and he was just, that's all he could do. And I was like,
Oh.
my poor papa, he like, Lord, I'm confused and I'm confused. But
Like, I don't know where y'all put me, but these people are not on the same page.
yeah, I asked that question. I asked the question because I've noticed like when I'm doing these interviews, people are different. You know what I mean? And like people's like I meet black women who are mixed, who aren't, or it's like, I racially identify as black, but they're like I'm also Dominican and stuff. I just think it kind of like gives context, for where like we're coming from because it's just being black is so it's just so nuanced. Like everyone's having a different like black female experience, but I think what's cool is that we're all bonded by this tribe of like womanhood and blackness. So it's like
Yeah.
really cool. Okay, so I think as a creative, there's like a lot of different aspects of like what gets you to the where you are now, right? There's the business side, there's you as just like nurturing your creativity, and then there's like your personal side. So I'm gonna ask you first about business. For you as a creative and in the work that you do, what do you think are like what would you say are the tent pole or like the moments, the business moves and the things that you did that really pushed you forward and that got you going on the path that you're on right now?
First thing that comes top of my mind is just being authentic, being myself. Um, it's interesting how in the industry of entertainment as a whole, I feel like a lot of just along my journey, I've been in, I lived in LA for a very long time, and people want you to be whatever pretty package they want you to be. They want you to act younger. They don't want you to acknowledge your family sometimes, or, all of the things. And so it can be annoying, and I never felt cool with that. I always held on to my integrity, and I was just true to who I was, and it's opened doors for me, which is really cool. Two cool examples is, I love sneakers. I'm not really like the type of person that dresses up too much. I don't wear dresses often, and I love just like wearing my dope sweats and shoes. And in contact with Nike, and they reached out to me, and I got to do a brand campaign with them. Also, I love sports, and just being like showing up not just as like the music Sada K, but also just the mom, the sports fan, and the person who loves a few different things. And so I love football. I love Kansas City. That's my hometown. And I got to work with the NFL recently and be a part of the NFL draft because it was in my hometown of Kansas City. And so I was laughing to myself. So I'm like, all that acting a fool about my Chiefs paid off because now I'm on the NFL draft. Like it was just like amazing. So things like that have definitely helped me like create my own lane of just being authentically me and seeing, where it lands and where I can create in different spaces that are on my vision board, that I'm trying to manifest. And it's really cool just to see all those play out and become a reality for me.
What has been like in the beginning of your journey, like what do you feel started like the traction of like you creating like a fan base, you creating your brand? Like what was like the things that happen business wise that you're like, okay, this is what I needed. I got this and this helped me move. Like what were revolted you? I know that's not the word. Holted you? I don't know the word. Move forward. That's something. I don't know the word. But like basically what are those things early in the very beginning that you're like, these are the things that really kind of gave me the momentum I needed.
I think one thing was just brand consistency. Like I grabbed Sada K music on all my socials, like immediately. My website, like if you wanted to find me anywhere, you could always go to Sada K music, and find me. That was one thing that I established early on. Like I didn't want to have a bunch of different handles or a bunch of different things. So I always made it easy to find me. So even if somebody maybe watched the interview from 10 years ago, I'm saying like Sada K music so people can find me, because you never know when you're putting out content and when you're putting out different things, when it'll find somebody that wants to, become a part of your community or support you in a different way. And so I've always been consistent there, but also just always being for the people. Like I've always had a heart for people. And I feel like that makes you more memorable. And when you can make an impact on someone, I never set out to just to be singing, is what I always said. I'm like, I'm not just singing to be singing. So, like, from the very beginning, like when I was singing in like cafes in Hollywood, I was always singing songs to people. Like I wanted to have songs where I can like literally point to the person and say, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it. Things are gonna get better. And it was cool because I got to sing, sets in a lot of different settings, where it could be like a conference to uplift women, or it could be at a church or a youth group or at the bar or at the club. Like, I was able to really like start creating my own lane where I just had a heart for people wherever they were, and it was cool because my music's always been like super positive and just inspiring, and I guess, for lack of better terms, clean, as far as like no explicit lyrics or anything like that. And so it's been cool just to be able to be in different spaces. Like I've been able to be in like, I remember way back, I got to do like a Black History Month event with Hill Harper, just because I had a great reputation. Like they could go and search for me and just be like, oh yeah, she's safe, you know, type of thing. So like I've been honored to be able to allow my I guess you could say just my heart and soul. Is not necessarily like a moral compass or anything because everything serves a purpose. Like I listen to music with all kinds of lyrics all the time. It's just a matter of for what I decide to put out there. It has definitely um, put me in places where I'm really thankful that I can always share, with my family members. I have a lot of older family members, and my mom, God rest her soul. Um, I always wanted to make things where she would be proud to share, it wouldn't be like embarrassing to her. So things like that just kind of were like my guiding lights and the decisions that I made along the way have really just like guided my path in a really cool, unique way.
What creatively are things that you would say really cultivated like you as an artist, or that grew you or has helped you to like um continue to explore and create and tell your stories?
Just staying true to myself. Like I said, I have a heart for people, and I don't want to just put out music because I can sing. Like it's more like, okay, I use my music as I approach my music rather as trying to create music to be the soundtrack for people's lives.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting. I love
that
that.
they can always go back to that song. Like if they're going through something or they're having like a moment, they can go back to the song. I like my songs to be used as tools. Like if I don't have the words to say and somebody experienced loss or is missing someone or is depressed or going through something or just needs an extra boost, I have songs for that, where I can just be like, hey, thinking about you, just wanted to sing you this song. And usually the response is always like, oh my gosh, I needed that today. I couldn't find the words, but the words in this song are really what's been on my heart. Um, and that makes me feel like I'm actually putting something beautiful into the world that can really like help people in their lonely moments where it's just like, they're going through it, but they need something to just be there with them. Music can have the power to really just like hug somebody. I want my songs to feel like warm hugs. And so um, that's where I have really just like, I'm not really tripping over a bunch of like fame and all that stuff. To me, that is the definition of success, to be able to really just touch people's hearts and souls. And there's been moments where I've had friends that like reach out to me and say, hey, my friend just suffered from a loss, or my friend's going through this. What's the name of that one song? Because I remember like I can't like, like I can't find it, but I know there's a song I want to like send, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Trying. And they're like, all right, I'm gonna send Trying to my friend because I feel like she needs that today. And I'm like, okay. Like things like that are just touch my heart in a special way and just confirm that I'm on the right path and I'm right where I need to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
When did you know you wanted to become a singer? Well, you're a lot of things, but it's like when did like the passion for singing? Because was singing first?
Well, I've been singing since I was 3. Easter Sunday in church. That was my debut of a solo. And so singing has just always been a part of my life. I don't really look at it as like I want to become a singer. It's just always been a part of my life. It's like sewn into my fabric, of this beautiful quilt that I'm creating. But it's just a part of me. And so when I moved to LA many, many moons ago, I just started like doors just kind of started opening for me. Um, when I really wanted to, it takes a little minute to get your feet grounded, trying to figure out, all of the LA things because I was born and raised in Kansas City and moved from Kansas City to LA. And that was a big, shift. But I started singing in like cafes, and then somebody saw me there and said, you should come here. And then it was just like, you know, stages. And then I ended up being in a band for a while that was signed to Universal. Then decided to go independent solo, and the band went their separate ways. And it's just been a journey of my own. And I'm just really thankful. I've had opportunity to share stages with some amazing, beautiful, talented people. And I've been able to share spaces with incredibly talented, Grammy Award winning artists. And so it's been cool just to see where my journey leads me. I've never put like a whole lot of pressure on myself, like I said, to be famous or anything like that. It's just like, do I feel fulfilled? Am I doing what I'm called to do? And that's kind of like, the path that I've been able to take, where I don't look at it as like I became a singer. Like I've been singing my whole life, but I've been fortunate to be able to do it professionally for the last, I don't know, like 15, almost maybe 20 years. Yeah, about 15 years. So yeah.
For you, was creating like, you know, they always say there's you, but then there's like your team. Has like your team been something that like you really focus in on? How did you like build your team? Like how do you decide like who should be the people supporting like the things that you're doing?
Well, I am one of those people that I don't put my destiny in nobody's hands but my own. And so I do a lot of things on my own. I'm one of those people, if I put my mind to it, I can literally do, I truly believe I can do anything. Now, as far as being stretched and exhausted, that's a thing that I have had to work on. But honestly, like my team consistently has always been me and my husband Kenny. Anybody that knows me knows Kenny, and he has been an incredible source of protection, a source of course, love, but also just like, let's get to it. What do we got to do? He is a connect the dots kind of guy where he can be that a person that can say, oh, I went and met with this guy today and he does this. Let's connect with him. I'm going to set up a studio session, or, hey, we can do this. Like, he's been the driver, standing with the engineer at the shows, making sure my sound is right because he knows my signals and my, how I work. So, like, just having one consistent person to help me connect the dots to the other people has been amazing, and it hasn't put a burden on our marriage. We operate as a team. We've been together since we were teenagers. So like this is just like what we do. And it's been amazing. And I definitely count my blessings because I know it's rare, but this is just like my life. This is just my everyday life. But he's been my right hand man, and he's managed a lot of stuff for me behind the scenes, but we manage things together. Like we just um connect those dots. And even when, like, I've kind of felt like, I'm in a funk, or I'm just like having blocks and I'm just not trying to create at the moment, there's no pressure there. It's just like, all right, like, we don't want to put out trash, so let's just wait till I get in a good space. But I've been able to tap into other teams. Like Reflection Music Group has been a great source of support for me when I do releases. And that's another, layer or branch for a team that I work with. But and I have my favorite producers and my favorite writers that I can always reach out to. And but all of those, a lot of those relationships have been between me and Kenny, just like making it work and reaching out to folks, or just connecting in a really cool organic way in different ways. So but yeah, I guess that answers the question. It's just like my team has been always me and Kenny and whoever we connect the dots to in the moment and the season of our lives.
That's really dope. That's dope because you've had that for like so long. So
Yeah.
you grew up together, and then you also like grew up together in a sense of like you know how each other works. And I assume you know each other's strengths and weaknesses so you can balance.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
what is like in your career and your path, what have been the like biggest pain points? Like what are the things that you've had pain points you're like you've had to navigate and figure out? Like what has been the biggest like or just like yeah, what comes up in those areas?
I feel like the biggest hurdle for me, or the biggest like struggle for me, if that's okay if I answer it that way. The
Yeah,
biggest
that's
struggle
fine.
for me, okay, the biggest struggle for me is just being consistent. I feel like in my life, I have dealt with a lot of life altering, life changing moments where I've had plenty of reason to just quit. I've had two children, I've lost my mother, I've dealt with injury where I had to like go from living on a tour bus to learn how to walk again. Like I've been through a lot. And sometimes like when I feel like I'm getting a groove going, something life changing happens to me where I just like feel like I've been sucker punched, and it's been tough. Um, but I just like had a milestone birthday. And in this season of my life, I'm just like, you know what? I am going to take all that strength that I've gained through the last season of my life and really stepping into this new season of my life for making promises to myself to really like just go all in and be consistent. To some people, it might look like I'm being consistent, but for me, it doesn't feel like it because I know I can do better. And I know I can build like my personal side of my brand in a beautiful way to really make a beautiful impact on people. Because just with like a few of the posts that I've shared when I open up about navigating through life with grief, because that's a thing for me, and it's like when I'm open about it and talk about it, I mean, it's like the responses are so beautiful. And I'm just like, a part of me is like, I don't want, my purpose or, to be attached to grief, but it's like, but that's your life. Like I lost my mother when I was in my last trimester with my first child. Like I was pregnant with my baby. I was like 8 months pregnant, and I lost my mom to breast cancer. And it was like devastating. And my new normal has been shifting for the last 6 years, and it's been tough. And it's hard sometimes to be motivated to create anything because I'm trying to grieve. Like, it's not like I'm trying to grieve. I am grieving. Like, I miss my mom with every moment, even as my child gets bigger. And, it's triggers all day long, all around potentially. And so I'm trying to navigate through grief every day, in a healthy manner to show up for myself, for my kids. And it's been beautiful just to see when I do share how I didn't realize how closely people were watching. And so I take great responsibility with that, just being like taking care of myself is also inspiring people in a way that I didn't see it was going to, because I'm in my world, just trying to be okay. But then people are like, you're inspiring me to navigate through my stuff a little bit more intentional. And that is like so beautiful. And so even with the struggles that I've faced through trying to be creative through all of this, like I've created songs, literally like one of my favorite singles I've ever had is called Trying. Like I'm literally just trying. But it's been beautiful just to take the struggles and the pain and take all that energy and shift it into something that can give me um, purpose and fulfillment, but also inspire people along the way. I think this life can be challenging and beautiful at the same time. And so, I like to work out. That's one of my outlets. And for me, just like, yeah, it's painful when you're in the middle of like trying to grow and push yourself, but in the end the results are beautiful. And so I'm just learning all of those things as I grow as a woman, as I grow as a mother, as a human being, as an artist. All of it works together, and I'm really thankful even for the struggles and the tough parts of just trying to be consistent. And I'm making a promise to myself to be a lot more consistent in things that I really am passionate about and that I want to see um, happen in my life and that I want to execute on as far as ideas are concerned.
In the midst of all of this, how have you taken care of yourself? How have you given yourself grace and care in the midst of like all that you're feeling and dealing with?
For me, you said the key word, grace. I got to give myself grace every day to feel what I need to feel. That's number one. I don't try to suppress my feelings or hide them. I think that that's a very healthy approach. But I've also done grief counseling. I've moved around. I live in Atlanta now. I lived in Kansas City for a little bit. I went back home for a little bit shortly after my mom passed, just to get my mind right, to just be around my family for a little bit, feel that warmth. Went back to LA for a little bit, but I mean, LA is always going to be my second home, but um, decided to move across the whole country to Atlanta. um, just to give myself a little bit more space and also to be a little bit closer to family because that's important to me. We're not like in the same city, but still I have some family here, but as far as like my siblings and stuff, but we're now all on like kind of like the East Coast South kind of thing rather than me being all the way in California. And that's important for me. It's good for my soul. I can hop on a plane and be to my brother in like an hour, and I love that. But also, I've been going to therapy weekly, and that's very important to me. That was a big step for me. Took me some time to find my person. I think I went through like 4 or 5 therapists just trying to find the right person. I finally did, and it feels so good. But that's important to me, and advocating for wellness and mental health being a priority. That's important. It's nice to have somebody unbiased that you can talk to every week, even if things are going good or bad. Like, it's nice when you're in a good space and you can talk about that and reflect on that. And then if something hits the fan, you can be like, all right, it's okay, I'm gonna talk to my therapist in 2 days. I like having that weekly session um, readily available for me. So I'm really thankful for that. But just like you said, giving myself grace, and just taking things day by day, step by step, moment by moment, day by day. Because you never know. Like, I might see like a beautiful Black woman with her grandchild at the store, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wish my baby could have his grandma. Like things like that. But I let myself feel that. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not ashamed of missing a beautiful soul. Like, I'm gonna miss my mama for the rest of my life. So I'm not like trying to be healed. Healing is like a whole journey in and of itself. There's no end to that. Like, I'm fine. I know I'm gonna be missing my mom for the rest of my life. And I have peace with that. And I actually feel like honored that I have a mother that was so good to me that I can miss her. And I'm honored to be hers, and I'm honored to carry on her legacy and her light, and people get to experience her through me. So yeah, I said all
It's
that to say, like, I just give myself grace.
Yeah. I lost my dad when I was 13, and now I'm in my 30s, and it's been like a good amount of years, but it's like I still grieve him, because I
Mhm.
think something you really point out is like the moments that like they would be in, right? Like, so when I get married, it's like that would have been a moment, or if I need advice for a certain thing, that'd be a moment. Like, um, yeah, I think grieving someone, um, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a little bit unexplainable to a certain degree. I think it's also different. Like, even though we both grieve something, yours is going to be different from mine. But I
Right.
was telling a friend, who actually, for her, she had lost a cat, and everything's different. But I think what I was telling her, I was like, what's interesting about, I think, grief in whatever form or whatever you're grieving, is I think sometimes it really points to the fact that this person had an impact in your life. Like, you're grieving them because they meant something. And like, that's like such a blessing to be like, I know I'm grieving and I miss, but I'm grieving and I miss because like this person actually had space in my life. They actually had an impact when they were here. And that impact it didn't die with them. It's still going.
It's a
They're present.
beautiful act of love. It's a beautiful act of love to grieve someone, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's very hard. I would say, to me, I think grief has been like the hardest thing. Um, it's been the hardest. But it is such a testament to like the love you have for your people, for those in your life. Um, yeah, I think it's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Also, that's very real about going through your therapist. Girl, like, I have friends, as a recovering like people pleaser, and I have friends who are like that. They'll get a therapist, and it's not jiving, but they'll stay with that therapist because I don't know.
No, I've been there too. Like, there was one, he was cool, but I was just like, no, this ain't gonna work. Because it was like, I don't know, it just wasn't gonna work. There were different factors, and I was just like, I'm just not making another appointment. Like, I'll just go to the next. Like, I have to. It's like dating to me, where it's like they're professionals. I'm sure they deal with all kinds of stuff. It's okay. I'm a people pleaser too, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings and all that. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, like, just not. It's not what I need
yeah,
in
it's a
this
waste of time,
moment.
honestly. It's when you're with someone and it's not jiving, it's a waste of time. It really is
Well, I
because
feel like it's also a learning lesson. You learn what you don't like. So as you move forward, you figure out what red flags to look for in the beginning, so you don't have to go through too many extra sessions to realize you don't like what you.
you know
Because
what?
that's what it was for me. Like, there was one lady, I was like, nope, nope, nope. And then I got another guy. I went through. I think the therapist I have now is my fourth. outside of my grief counseling, because that was like a special, like, okay, this is a 6-week grief counseling program that I was in, and that was in person. But I do all mine virtual because I have too much going on in my life. So I like to just get on my phone, talk to my therapist, video chat, and it's beautiful. And I had so many different like confirmations to know she was the one. Like, she's licensed in Atlanta. She's an older Black woman, absolutely beautiful. And she grew up in Kansas City. And I was like, what? Like, of all the therapists, I found somebody who was born and raised in my hometown. So she understands and knows everything I'm talking about when it comes to like stuff with home and all that stuff. So it's been like beautiful. And she feels like one of my mom's girlfriends or something. So I get like that warmth from that too.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's amazing.
I love it. I always tell people, I'm like, people who like don't want to do it, I was like, listen, I'm be honest with you. My therapist is like one of my best friends. I know I pay them, but like it's a very safe, it's like being with the safest of safest friends. If you find someone right? Like if you get someone that like fits you and it's grooving, it's like to have someone that's something like you said, I will have things that happen and go, you know what though, but I'm about to go to a session in 2 days. So I'm gonna hold on to this, write it down, and then I'll deal
I'm
with
like,
it
I'm
then.
not going to bother my husband with this. I'm gonna just go straight to the professional.
I would just
'Cause
hold this. No, it's the best. I tell people, I was like, yo, honestly, it's like getting a really great friend. Like you should do it because like I think people think, and I thought, and I think still get frustrated sometimes, is I thought that like I'm gonna go and you gonna tell me how to solve some things I don't know how to solve. And
Yeah,
like
no.
it's not that. And I honestly, people are like, I don't want that. I wanted that. Like I wanted someone to tell me how to fix things.
Dude, help me.
Help
They're
me
like,
help
no,
myself.
tell
No.
you how to live your life. But and somehow it all works and still makes you feel better, even though you're like literally talking through your own stuff.
Yeah. No,
But
it's interesting. I think people are afraid. I'm like, go do it. I'm telling you, like it's the best. It really is. It's changed my life. Like I've been in therapy for over 10 years. And it's a journey. Like I'm still like,
yeah,
yo, why am I still in here? And but I need it. I really do. But it's helped me um it's just helped navigate like life and to have a bouncing board and someone who like isn't judging you and has the capacity to take it in because like you said like sometimes like family and stuff they're great but they're not professionals so like they'd be like I want to fix this and it's like oh just let me I don't know.
yeah. So it's beautiful. I don't know how long I've been like I did the grief counseling briefly, like probably 2 years after my mom passed. And then I decided to go full blown, just have a therapist. Maybe I don't even know if it's been 2 years. So I'm newer to it, but I'm thankful for it for sure.
It's impactful. Okay, so in the last 365 days what is something that you've learned about yourself?
I've learned a lot, but I will share that I just turned 40. And for me, I have learned that I am one strong woman. I tapped into strength that I did not know I had.
Mhm.
And I can literally do anything. Like, I feel like I really can. I'm really just proud of myself with the strength that I have gained and the grace that I have navigated through all of life's ups and downs for me. Um, and that I'm going to be okay. I think that was a concern of mine for a very long time. Like, can I do this? Can I live my life without my mom? Can I be a mother to my two boys, like a good mother? Like, can I be all of the things that I dream about being, like, as far as like an artist and a creative, be a mother, be a wife, manage a household, do the creative things, navigate through my most deepest feelings, and still be mentally sound? Can I do all of that? And the answer is yes.
What
Right
is
now, it's yes.
what has helped you? What have been the tools or the things that you feel is giving you balance and all of these different things? Because like you do, yes, you are creative, and you create, but yeah, like you said, you're a wife, you're a mommy, you're a human being in yourself. Um, how has you, how has, that's not, how has, how have you made that like soup? How have you like made that work? And maybe you're still trying to make it work, but like, what does that look like for you?
So there, for me, I really don't feel like there is a such thing as balance, but it's like for me, I kind of approach it like I do music. Like, you know how there's so many layers and so many tracks to just make one beautiful song. And it's like I'm just trying to make harmony of it all and find my own rhythm and operate to the beat of my own heart, all of those things where it's just like sometimes one part of my life may take over a bit. I can't always do everything at the same time. So it's just about like trying to figure out time management, and I am actively working on that because that is very, very hard. And sometimes it's just like, you know what? These kids are losing their whole mind. So I'm gonna have to put this over here and not try to keep pushing it to make it happen and love on my babies right now because clearly they're like needing some extra love today. So come on, let's do this, let's do that. And then sometimes they're like, Mommy, can we do this with you? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, so they, like Kendrick's now my oldest one, he's like, Mommy, record this. He's like, he wants to do stuff too.
Oh,
So it's like super cool. Like, and like just to see my kids like so when I did the NFL draft opener, so I got to sing the song to open the NFL draft
I saw it.
on
It
the
was
NFL
beautiful.
Network.
Everyone go watch it.
You, yeah, it's on my Instagram if you want to see it. I have it pinned. But just to see my kids see me on TV was everything, and it made everything just be like, you know what, this is a core memory for them, and one thing that I'm instilling while I'm doing all the things is I'm showing them that anything's possible. I'm showing them that I'm doing what I love. And I never wanted to like have my kids and be like, before you guys were born, I did all this cool stuff, but now I don't. Like I didn't want to do that. And so I think that's part of just having my kids a little older too. Like I have my kids in my 30s, so I lived a full life in my 20s. And so I was just like, they're joining the party. Like yes, there are moments where it's just like, shut it down. I'm mama. Don't ask me about no music. Don't ask me about nothing else. Like, I definitely prioritize my kids over everything. Like, they are my world. I want to make that clear. But at the same time, I love them seeing me work hard at stuff and like seeing the outcome of it. Like, it's really beautiful. And I know it's instilling some beautiful seeds into their souls. So, yeah, just trying to make harmony of it all, and them having a hands-on father is nice and helpful as well. He helps me and gives me the space to do what I need to do. Like when I was in Kansas City shooting for that, he was just like, do what you got to do, stay as long as you need to, I got them. He's sending me pictures of them playing and happy, so I wasn't like worried. Like stuff like that matters, because the mom guilt will always kick in no matter what capacity of something you're doing, whether it's you're just going to the spa for the day or something. It could be anything. But for me, I'm just thankful for the support system that I do have around me, and I just don't beat myself up if I don't hit the mark that day. Like things might be on a flat note, or like I mess up, I do things where I'm just like, dang, I should have not done that today. I should have just, did this, that, and the other with my kids or something like that. Things happen, but I give myself grace day by day, moment by moment, step by step in every aspect of my life. So that's how I approach it, just trying to make beautiful harmony of it all. And it's a lot, but somehow it works.
I love that. So as a creative, I think for all of us in all industries, being creative is the pain point of like navigating this world financially. Um, for you and your path, you like, how would you say you've been able to navigate that? And what has maybe been the best advice you've been given and that you would give for someone who's trying to figure it out?
I feel like my path is very unique when it comes to that. When I was referring back to when I got injured and I couldn't tour anymore, and I was like literally on crutches and wheelchair trying to figure out how to walk again because I had to have 2 knee surgeries and all the things. I feel back on, my education. I was able to get a job in media, and work that for a while because, in LA, everybody has 4,000 jobs. But when my mom passed and I was trying to move back to Kansas City and figure things out, I had a couple of job offers. One, I had to stay in LA, and one I pitched to see if I could work remote before remote was a thing, for a small startup tech company, that I fell in love with their passion. And with that, I was, I've been like I basically like built a career in tech on the side of all this other stuff that I've uh, been telling you about. So like, and I haven't talked about that much. And then like, I was at a conference. I don't know if you know about Afrotech, but it's like the
Girl,
biggest
yes. I live in
Black.
Austin. Did you come this past year?
I actually work for them. So I was like, stuff, yeah. So I was like running stuff for Afrotech and was like not running stuff, but I had my role there. And it was really cool. Just I ran into some people that didn't know that I work in tech. And so they were just like, wait, why are you here? It's like, wait, what are you doing? You're like calling shots behind the scenes right now. Like, what is happening? Sada, you need to talk about this more. And I'm just like, it's so that's been like beautiful just to be able to like use my mind in all different areas. I like that. I've been an artist full time. I've worked, full time when things kind of slowed down with some artistry stuff as far as my creativity. And so I've just found that balance of whatever I like to do with my time. There's no shame in that. I love it. I actually think it's cool because I know a lot of artists that cannot do like those sort of things. And so like their brain doesn't work like that. So for me, I call myself fortunate to be able to, use both sides of my brain where I can do work in tech. I can, support a lot of cool different causes and but also, do my creative stuff too. So it's really cool.
What's the best of those? The question I asked, what's the best financial advice you think you can give to people?
Financial
And it
advice.
could be anything, but because people out here, I think especially for creatives, I think when it comes to money, we like kind of, I don't, I think I think because in creative fields like music, film, all these things, right? Artistry. I know they're all different, but I do think there is this like thing of image and brand. And so like if it isn't easy to navigate or if you don't know everything, I think we don't ever want to like put that out there because I just think the world ties wealth to like prestige or like you should be respected. So like if that's not solidified or looks solidified, then it could, I don't know. I think there's just a worry of that like vulnerability, but like it's a real thing. Like I navigate all the time. Like I do this podcast, I want to pursue my writing and all this, but it's like I have to have a part-time job. Like I have to do that. I do copywriting. Like I have to financially sustain myself because this hasn't done it yet. It will, but it hasn't yet. And even people who I know who do this, it's like it's a whole nother. So yeah, so what would be the best advice you would give for someone like financially that you've like figured out? Um,
My financial advice would definitely be to just invest in yourself and don't be ashamed of however you need to do it. Like multiple streams of income is great. Like you might not get your dream job, but that job can help finance your dreams. So don't let the images that you see on social media mess your life up to the point where you feel like you can't work because you need to be out here in these streets hustling, doing whatever. Hustling is overrated. I have hustled and been in survival mode most of my adult life. And when I say survival mode, it's more like mentally as well, because I'm like trying to fight a bunch of stuff to just keep going. But also just, when you're living in expensive cities, if you're living in New York or LA or, Atlanta's a little bit expensive in some spaces too, like, you know, um, definitely just do what you need to do and don't feel ashamed about it. Like I've been guilty of that where I've been like, but I got this job. And then people like I worked at NBC Universal for a long time. throughout my pregnancy. And I'm so irritated with myself because I was like ashamed of that. And I'm like, girl, you're on the lot every day. You have amazing health insurance to have your baby. Like, and I made my album during that whole time. Like I worked a super early shift where I was like from 7 to 2, and then I would like get off and go to the studio and work all evening, and then go back to work in the morning. And I was like, kicking my butt. But like I look back on that season in my life, and I'm like, girl, that was dope. And there was nothing to be ashamed of. Like, and I just never even posted. Like, I was on the lot every day seeing every person you could imagine. And I was just like, it's just a job. And I'm just like, that's sad that you couldn't like embrace that beautiful like season in your life, even though it was the hardest because my mom was battling and sick and stuff. But still, like, I'm learning to just be proud of my journey, because I do know a lot of people that, put up this whole image on social media, and it's tough in the background once the cameras go off. And I just want to show up as my authentic self, not put pressure on myself because of what I see, because I never know what's going on behind the scenes. And so as far as financial advice, is just to like invest in yourself, invest in what's going to make your brand or your stuff look better. And I'm not talking about clothes or outfits. Like, you don't have to be Gucci down to be credible. Like, it's more like investing a domain name. Like, that don't cost much.
Yeah.
Get your like emails straight. Like, you can get like a business Google app where you can literally pay little to nothing to have your email address be that domain name. Even if the domain is not like a full-blown website, you can still just have the domain name. Like, that's your like that stuff is important, and it makes you look legit. Like, if you're pitching like to partner with brands, put yourself out there and make yourself a one pager. Do little investments. Like, you can pay like $7 and get a template on Etsy to like have a one pager to share, like if you want to pitch to a brand or partner with something, or like just invest in yourself. Like, make sure like you have a good phone to capture stuff. Take time out of your day or your weekend to like really strategically think about the way that you structure your content. Like, you can literally go to Chat GPT and say like, I want to build a personal brand, like blah, 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 and give me a strategy for this, and it'll write out a whole like business plan or strategy for you that you can like tweak however you want, but at least it helps you get out of the rut. Like, your time and your money is valuable, but your time is probably the biggest investment you can make. Like, yeah, you can have money and you can do all the things, and you're going to need money to invest in yourself. Like, marketing is important, all of those things, rather than just like paying somebody that you think is famous is going to make you or break you. Like, investing in yourself is the most important thing you can do. And so, working, doing what you got to do, finding different ways to have multiple streams of income, like, it don't just come easy. Like, you got to be able, like, I have a whole family, I got stuff going on. I'm not about to be out here looking crazy because just in case y'all don't stream my music, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna make sure that I'm taken care of, and I have no shame in that. So, I have my career in tech, I have my music, I model with my kids because they have their own little bank accounts that I don't touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do a lot of different things. I have these partnerships that I get to do sometimes that I absolutely love. Like, I'm trying to build different ways. Like, I'm learning about investing a bit more. It's just a lot. Like, my husband is all about like investing and all that stuff, so we're learning about that. It's new to us. It's not something that we grew up knowing, so it's like we're trying to break generational curses and figure out stuff. Or not generational curses, rather, I just say generational habits. I like that a little bit better. It doesn't sound as bad, because our parents and the people before us only knew what they knew. Like, some of it is not curses, it's just like a lack of knowledge, and we're trying to just do better and build better habits for our kids. I like to say that better. But like, just trying to invest in yourself, whether it's even going on Udemy and getting certified in a certain space where you can like contribute to the world in another way. Like, I know people who are now like certified life coaches and doing other things, like to like build a beautiful space for people to do amazing things. So there's a lot of different ways you can invest in yourself, and that's, I guess, some financial advice that I would give you, to just make yourself build your brand and be legit and be position yourself to be respected, and just stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like when those folks called me out of the blue about NFL stuff, I was like, oh, I can send you a one pager in within the hour. Got my stuff together, sent it to them. They pitched it to the NFL. The next day, they were like, they want to move forward with you. You just got to stay on it and know where the resources are so that you can look like $1,000,000 when the time comes.
I love that. That's real. And I think, yeah, I think sometimes as I've gotten older in this, I think when I was younger, like literally, I think when I graduated from college, and I went to a great school, and I thought I'm just going to graduate, I'm going to be someone's assistant, and then that's just going to catapult my script, my things like that. And it's like it didn't work that way for me. And I think what I learned is like the path there isn't like a smooth, like you go here to here to here. It's like you have to navigate this for you in your life and you. And I think that's really powerful. It's like investing yourself, because when you invest in yourself, you're planting things that will grow out of you that you can use down the line, and you can reap the harvest of it.
Yep. Even if you have to teach yourself how to do something because you can't pay for a service because it's too expensive, like
Yeah.
sometimes you never know until you try. If it becomes too hard, then at least you know, like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make this money to invest in this because I can't do it. But
Yeah.
I'm all about figuring out how to do stuff myself. The world is like so wide open that you can literally Google anything and figure out a way to do something somehow. So
Okay, so where can people find you?
all things social is at Sada K Music. That's SADAKMUSIC. So I'm active on Instagram and Facebook. I have a Facebook page. YouTube, I'm launching a new series here this month, so I'm really excited about that. And also I do a little bit of TikTok, but I haven't been as consistent just because I feel like my greatest community is on Instagram and Facebook. And then I have a website, sadakmusic.com. You can visit my blog there. It's called The Sound Lifestyle, where I just kind of talk how I've been talking today, where I have been just trying to navigate through life with a sound mind, body, and soul. And so I am excited to grow that brand and continue to just share with writing, because songs can only be so much. And then you can find my music on everywhere that streams music, and you can just look me up under Sada K, SADA space K period.
Quick question. Do you have any recommendations for books or things like that you feel like could help people just navigate this world, this life, whatever?
Okay, so my sister-in-law, a shameless plug, but my sister-in-law has a book called How We Heal, and her name is Alex L. And she's just a great resource. She just got the New York Times bestseller. I guess it's not an award,
Oh,
but she delayed. So I'm really excited for her. But How We Heal is a book she just released, and it's amazing and beautiful. And who knows, you might see us both somewhere in the same space soon. So, but yeah.
that's it. Thank you, Sada, for being here. Thank you for being open and transparent. And everyone go check her out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.